a big retreat over Obamacare. We've been talking about Obamacare in these videos, and one of the things that I had a great deal of hope for was that Justice Roberts opened the door in his decision validating Obamacare to the states nullifying the Medicaid expansion features of Obamacare. Obamacare really is two completely separate bills. One sets up the individual mandate and the insurance exchanges and the healthcare rationing. The other says that states have to raise their eligibility levels to Medicaid, not only to the poverty level, but above the poverty level, 1/3 above that. So in a family of four, it would be about $25,000 to $27,000 a year, depending on what state you're in. Now, a lot of states have very low eligibility. Texas is about $5,000 or $6,000. And the idea was to lift it up to 133%, which would bring tens of millions of people into eligibility for Medicaid. This was really an effort by Obama to force these states to raise their taxes by taking this additional caseload. The Fed said, oh, we'll pay for it for the first 3 years. And then for the next 3 years, we'll pay 90% of it. And after that, well, we don't know. So the point was that when they start paying 10%, and then when they have to pay 1/3 or 1/2, as they will after the federal subsidy winds down, these states would be facing a gigantic financial burden. Medicaid is about 1/4 of state spending now. It would zoom up to 1/2. And Florida would have to have an income tax, Texas would, all the other states would have to raise their taxes, and the advantage that the South has of lower taxes would be nullified because of the expansion of Medicaid, not Medicare, Medicaid for poor people. Now, the Roberts Court came in and they said, no, you don't have to raise it up to 133% of poverty for Medicaid. You can do whatever you want. You could turn that money down with impunity. And the penalties that Obama built into the law are unconstitutional. So a lot of states took advantage of it. More than 20 states declared that they are not going to raise their eligibility levels to the levels mandated under the Medicaid bill. Rick Perry of Texas, the governor, deserves a lot of credit for his bravery in doing that. Tom Corbett, the governor of Pennsylvania, deserves credit. Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, and a whole bunch of governors around the country. But just last week, Florida and New Jersey, which had originally said they would not accept the Medicaid increase, flipped and announced that they would accept it. Now, this policy ultimately will destroy the finances of those states. It is inevitable that once you assume this kind of a burden, you are going to have a higher income tax, and Florida will have to have an income tax. And the state is entering into very, very dangerous territory with this decision. So the state of play now is we still have a bunch of states that are holding out. They still are about 1/3 of the country. But we suffered some big losses this last week. Thanks for watching.